Hey, and welcome back to Tobacco Road and Abroad. My name is Gareth Parsons, joined by Aiden Moore. And Jesus, this coaching carousel is quite something.
It
Let's
is,
just
Garrett,
say,
isn't it?
yeah, let's just say today was my personal 9/11.
We are both without fathers right now.
We're not going to get into the personal stuff that happened today, but when I woke up this morning, I had something come across my desk.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a good way,
Mm-mm.
in a very bad way. Will Wade is possibly leaving for LSU.
Which, by the way, you know what? Let's open this up with a little conversation on the Will Wade situation, because obviously there also is the Hubert Davis situation, which we will get into
There's also the
momentarily.
Providence situation.
Man, there's a lot of situations.
Yeah,
But all right, so listen, I like Will Wade as much as you can like an NC State head coach right now. As a UNC fan. I think he was a good fit for the program, and I think he was a good hire. And listen, I can understand not wanting to work for State, but going back to the team that left you dry, that's a little questionable in my mind. That's a little, I don't know, kind of being whipped around, if you ask me. That's like it's just
yeah.
going back to an ex that kind of did you dirty.
Yeah, um, there is someone in this mess I do feel bad for. Mac McMahon, he hasn't been fired as the LSU head coach yet. And there's all this talk. CBS is reporting that Will Wade is gone. There's a lot to talk about here. Now, the LSU sources and insiders have been pretty open that they're going after Heath Schroyer, who was Will Wade's AD at McNeese. And they made it clear they're trying to reassemble the team, and that if they're able to get Heath Schroyer, they're going to aggressively pursue Will Wade. And NC State sources have confirmed that Will Wade did tell AD Boo Corrigan that he will be meeting with LSU. Now, it's unclear whether he's taking this seriously because I could see one of two things. I could see one, him leaving based off the current evidence. But
Yes.
another idea that was floated is Will Wade is still pretty salty, or at least he portrayed it that he's still pretty salty about how LSU went down.
Yeah.
And he is the type of petty motherfucker to mess with LSU and make them think that he's going to come back, get them to get all this budget, get it all riled up, and then not accept it.
Pull a Ravens, if you will.
Pull a Ravens, if you will, yes. Or he's trying to start a bidding war between NC State and LSU. And in that case, I say we just let him go.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that point, he came here saying he was for the program. My point, and Aiden talked about this, like he can understand why Will Wade's moving on. And I can understand too. NC State, there's expectations. There is expectations here for a basketball program. LSU, I mean, LSU, can you get away with losing at basketball? 9 times out of 10, yes. Kentucky, it's get them next year. The fan base is well, there's football season. NC State, like these fans live for basketball. Yeah, there's football, but like the kind of consensus understanding since we hired Will Wade and since Kevin Keats, who we did fire him, but Kevin Keats brought up something interesting that he was talking about our spending, and we were spending less than some of the bottom dwellers in the ACC and still achieving middle of the pack ACC. So I think, first of all, Kevin Keats is a lot better coach than we give him credit for. I just don't think he was getting the resources from what I've been hearing. But back to the Will Wade point. I get it, but I don't get it now because of the way he was talking. He wanted to talk like he wanted to build something here. And he was like, yeah, I'm here to stay. And how he had previously talked about LSU is like, you know that guy that's like weirdly obsessed with his ex, but not like a I'm gonna get back with her way, but in like he's probably throwing darts at a picture of her on his wall.
Yeah.
That's kind of the vibes Will Wade was giving.
Yeah.
So when you said you understand why he's leaving, like if we put all that aside, like if all that other fluff wasn't there, I'd say yes. But with the way he's acted about LSU and the way he's treated State and the way he's acted at State being, oh, I'm here. And then when he was directly asked about was he going to take the LSU job 2 weeks ago in a press conference, he goes, what, is it open? Like, I don't, like, even if it's open, no, like, why are you talking about it? Like, he's like, is it open? Like, I haven't even looked. Like, he hadn't even thought about it or even considered it.
I haven't even looked at her gram.
But, and obviously, we know he is following LSU athletics again, but we also know that he doesn't run his own Twitter. But you'd think NC State would come out on top of this if he was staying. They'd be on top of this rumor. A similar fan base woke up in an absolute flurry this morning with rumors that Bill Self was retiring at Kansas. What did Kansas have? Kansas had a statement out by noon. Bill Self also had a statement out by noon. I am not retiring. Bill Self is not retiring.
Mm-hmm.
So either NC State thinks not addressing it's the best case scenario, or they got completely blindsided by this. But like I said, confirmed reports have come out that Will Wade did talk to Boo Corrigan saying he is meeting with LSU. Whether he's going to go there or not, but he is going to have salary talks with LSU. And it is confirmed that he has at least been in contact with some of the donors. But like I said before, I understand your point, but the way he's been talking, that just, I don't get it. That was one of the messiest firings I've ever seen. Like, Aiden and I hold SEC basketball as a non-event. It's kind of a non-event outside of about 3 or 4 teams.
It's trying to. The media will tell you different, though.
But I do like your quote. Your conference is how people see it. Like when you're saying, like, a lot of how your conference gets treated is just how people see it. Like, yes, was the Big East pretty bad this year? Yes. But the way some of the SEC coaches were talking, basically calling it A10 level, I'm sorry. The majority of the A10 would go 2-18 in the Big East. Like, just saying. Not Dayton, not VCU. Like, they'd punch above their weight because a lot of the Big East is former A10 schools.
Yeah.
But I think we need to stop looking at this SEC basketball as like some golden godsend. All right? They had no business getting 10 teams in this year. That's beside the point.
Yeah.
But for my take on this Will Wade LSU thing, I'm going to borrow a take from our friends over at OG Triangle Media as to why, and I agree with them, as to why I think Will Wade's leaving. I think Will Wade realized he wasn't built for it. He was not built for the expectations. LSU is the perfect fit. Well, I feel like he wasn't built for it. I mean, he came in here acting like a gangster, and then at the end of the season acting like a dog with a tail between his legs.
I mean, yes, but like, listen, like here's my point. Like the NC State job from the outside end is just very not appealing. Like, let's be real. You have high expectations. You're in between 2 basketball powers. And I know, Gareth, you like to harp on, oh, NC State was a basketball power back in 1992 when we weren't even in our dad's balls yet. Let's be real. And right now, NC State is kind of irrelevant in the grand scheme of basketball. I feel like this is fair to say, but they still have high expectations imposed by the fan base. LSU has deeper pockets, I believe, right now. And let's be real, they don't have any strong basketball rivalries locally in Louisiana.
There's not going to be a lot of expectations.
Yeah, but the expectation with Will Wade is going to be, hey, get us to like the NCAA tournament and we'll be good. Right?
Yeah,
that's going to be the expectation, because right now the expectation with SEC teams is we're going to be in the NCAA tournament. They believe also that they could get 4 teams in the Final Four, which is delusional, but SEC basketball is on the rise, media speaking, with media. We don't believe that SEC is all that. But to the common basketball fan, the SEC is looking really good. And it's also very winnable. So on paper, it is a move up. I just have problems with going back to the team that kind of did you dirty, that you publicly said they did you dirty, and then kind of walking back on that. I can understand wanting to leave NC State and wanting to leave the fan base. I do understand that. I could understand not even wanting to coach at UNC because of the fan base. Yeah. ACC fans can kind of suck.
They're a nightmare.
Yes.
But it's the standard the conference has set. The SEC thinks they have the ACC standards. You can get away with a losing season in the SEC.
Yes.
If you are the perennial powers of the ACC, like the original 8, or sorry, I should say original 7, because only 7 of the original 8 are in there.
Yeah.
You are fucked if you have a losing season. I don't care if you're an established name. If John Shire had a losing season next year for whatever reason, they would have John Shire effigies on the fucking Duke quad burning. They would have dolls of John Shire on burning crosses out in the front of the fucking Duke quad.
Yeah.
That's the standard. And from an appeal standpoint, I get why Will Wade wants to go to LSU because there's not the expectations. There's not the history. And it's in terms of a job, it's an upgrade in the sense that if he loses games he shouldn't, he can kind of get away with that, with how the SEC's viewed. And with the trendy, everyone wants to hate on the ACC. In the ACC, you really can't have a bad loss, just with how the media views you.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter who you are, Carolina, Duke State, Wake Forest, even Boston College. If you have a bad loss, you're getting fucking memed on ESPN college basketball's Instagram account.
Yeah.
An SEC school does this, oh, this league's so deep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say, I do blame Will Wade. I'm not going to say I don't blame him. I see the reasoning. I disagree with the reasoning. Because essentially what he's saying is he wasn't built for it. He came in here acting like a gangster and then is running back to a school where there's lower expectations, more money. More money is one thing. In this age, more money is one thing. But then if money is the issue, how come NC State just had a record on give day today for the basketball program? If money was an issue, he could have just said give to the basketball program. But I don't think he wants the added pressure of if I fuck up. I don't think Will Wade likes being told when he's wrong. From what I've seen, no one does. But I don't think he takes it particularly well. But the problem is in the ACC, you are going to have to accept as a coach, you are going to be wrong sometimes. With how difficult this league is, you have to accept you're going to be wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm going to borrow another take from OG Triangle Media. If Will Wade goes back to LSU, he is going to have to drop this gangster act.
Yeah, I will agree with that.
Because you came in here thinking, and I like the attitude. I like the way he was talking. Because the past couple of coaches have been like, yeah, we'll see what we can do in the ACC. Meanwhile, he's like, no, we're going to compete. I like that. But he was talking like, oh, he's like, I'm going to come in here and turn it into a powerhouse. And then when year one didn't pan out, which is fine, it takes time to build. Patino took him 2 years to build St. John's. Fucking Hurley, it took him 5 years to build UConn. Like, I thought he was going to can at UConn before he took off.
Yeah.
It would have been one thing if he came in here and said, let's build something.
Yeah.
And this year, that would have been fine. But the problem is he came in here talking like a gangster, like he was going to turn around in 1 year. And how even if this year went tough, he was going to stick it out and come back even tougher next year. And he was talking about even after our tournament loss, he's talking, this team's going to be tougher next year. We are going to be a tough team.
Yeah.
We are going to be a physical team. We are going to play a more physical brand of basketball. And then less than a week later, he's leaving. You kind of have to drop the American Gangster Act at that point.
a little bit, but like at the end of the day, like you did bring up a good point, a point of like, oh, with LSU, there's more money and also less expectations. I'm gonna be real. Like when it comes to that, like if you told me, hey, you could take this higher paying job with less expectations, I would take that.
I mean, from
I
a
don't,
corporate standpoint,
a
yeah.
corporate standpoint, that just makes sense. And I can't like fault him for that. I just have the issue with going back to LSU in particular. And like and you know me, I always kind of like cringe a little bit at like the expectations of NC State a little bit. I think it's a little bit overblown, and I think sometimes the fan base asks too much of what they are. So I
I
can
don't
kind
think
of
we ask enough.
oh, of course you don't. Of course of course you don't, Garrett. But
We had Kevin Keats for a coach. Of course we didn't. We didn't ask enough. Don't
oh
ask
God,
what you can do for your country, but what your country can do for you.
NC State's not a country, Garrett.
Neither is North Carolina, but we both reposted that meme. So
We did. We did. I don't know, but listen, once again, I'm out of my depth when talking to about NC State, but this is just a issue that definitely we definitely need to keep our eyes on. And if Will Wade goes through with it, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed, and I understand the NC State fans that are going to be uh, not too particularly happy about it.
final point for me. How the fuck does this happen to me twice in 2 years? Ed Cooley and now Will Wade. I'm just saying. We need to throw like dirty diapers or something at his private jet as it taxis down the RDU runway.
I don't think they'll fly over, but damn, they're storming RDU.
I'm just saying, if we we haven't talked about the way the Providence fans acted when Ed Cooley left Providence. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, yeah.
That was bad. We were burning shit on no, the students were burning shit on campus. The students were burning shit on campus.
Garrett can neither confirm nor deny where he was on that date.
Did we burn my neighbor's flag that had Ed Cooley dressed up as a gangster? Maybe.
Maybe.
Did we burn it in the quad? Perchance. Was there several hundred other students burning their other Ed Cooley gear? Yeah. Did we drop the charred remains of said stuff right outside of his office in Slavin?
Maybe.
No comment. No comment. Did our alumni network in DC go and TP the Georgetown campus? Yeah. If you don't think a small school of 4,000 people takes rejection well, imagine what's going to happen in April.
Oh no. Gareth,
LSU's about to have their
Gareth,
9/11.
I'm trying to get to work. The RDU is closed. The I-40's closed outside.
Garrett, they hit the bell tower on LSU's campus. They've hit the LSU bell tower.
Anyway.
But no,
You know what? Let's bring it over to UNC right now. Hubert Davis fired as North Carolina head coach. This is something that had a lot of build up to it. There were talks going into this past week. People understanding that Hubert Davis was meeting with the AD and Chancellor of UNC, and it wasn't looking good. And UNC confirmed last night that they have fired Hubert Davis, and now one of the biggest jobs in all of college basketball is now open, which has just left for a lot of speculation for who's going to be the next guy up. This is an event of it itself. In my opinion, Gareth and I were talking about it off air. Listen, there's no good time for a breakup. There's never a good time for a breakup, but right now, it it's a little bit awkward, but there's still UNC can bring people into the coaching carousel that were not in before. A lot of names have been thrown out as speculation. Billy Donovan, Brad Stevens, um, and have been thrown out both with NBA experience. Brad Stevens working in the front office of the Celtics. I would like that. Personally, with his experience at Butler, I think he would be a good fit for UNC. Other names like Dan Hurley, I don't think we would get him. He seems to be very set on staying.
He said no to the Lakers. Yeah.
Which saying no to my you say he said no to the Lakers. I said says no to Kentucky. The
Yeah.
Lakers is one thing. Like I could understand not wanting to work with big names like LeBron, Luca, um, and the the media circle, the NBA and the college basketball are different in the same way the NFL and college football are different. Like I can understand wanting the top job at a college program and saying no to the NFL. I can understand saying no to a top program in saying yes to a top program in college basketball and saying no to the NBA. But saying no to Kentucky, in my opinion, is kind of like the little bit of the teaser that he's not willing to stay. Like he's not willing to go.
Yeah, and I understand when you talk about with the NBA, I also wonder Dan Hurley's very particular about how he likes things.
Hmm.
And he probably wouldn't have put up with the big personalities in that Lakers locker room. He's very big on he doesn't like his team to have an individual.
Yeah.
He wants them to be UConn. They are UConn. They're the UConn Huskies.
Yeah. And
They're not Alex Carahan or Solo Ball. They're UConn.
at Kentucky and UNC there is the program, but also the program is defined by individuals. UNC's entire season fell apart once we heard that Caleb Wilson was not coming back. That just ruined everyone. That was like losing LeBron. Like, yes, there is the program, but there is like in these bigger schools there are the individuals.
Yes.
Like you get to a point as a college program where you can be you're almost an NBA team in college, if that makes sense. I would consider Duke one of those levels too, because yes, there is the program of Duke, and Duke is deep, but Duke also has individuals. Individuals go to Duke, if this makes sense.
Yeah, they have no problem having individuals.
They have no problems having a Zion Williams like that. When Zion was at Duke, it was the Zion show. That was generational. Like Zion breaks his shoe in a Duke basketball game, and it's on ESPN for the next 3 weeks.
We still see it
Yeah,
almost 10 years later.
yes. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like the UNC's, Dukes, Kentucky's, and I guess you could throw Kansas in there as well. Those four schools, they thrive on individuals. Maybe you could even put Arizona in there. But Todd Golden has also been another one. I've just heard things about the buyout, and
That would be an expect. Like you thought the Will Wade buyout was bad.
you need to know that's your guy and have to live with the fact that you have a recent national champion getting a bag from you, which is not going
Like
to be
it's
good.
football
Like
money.
at
You're
like
paying
at that
football money for
like
him.
at that rate, you might as well just get another coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that I just threw around just for the shits and gigs is just Patino. Throw Patino in there. Why
You
not?
might as well.
Might as well. Is he old? Yes. But, like, you know what? Screw it. It's UNC basketball. We can throw anyone out there. I did hear about, Gareth was telling me Michael Jordan for some reason. I haven't seen anything
He's
about
been
that.
thrown around.
He's been thrown. Hell no. I'm saying this right now. Hell no.
That would be a disaster.
No, no. Like, love Jordan. love the everything that you can say about Michael Jordan has already been said. I'm not gonna like run through everything, but I do not want Michael Jordan being the head coach of UNC. I think that would just legitimately be the biggest disaster of all time. That would be a bigger disaster than UNC football right now.
That honestly, like, there's not many things that would kill UNC as a program basketball wise. That might do it, or at
Kenny
least put
Smith,
them into a slumber for like 10 years.
yeah, no, that I mean, Kenny Smith, God love him. I don't think he would be cut out for the job.
He's also 61.
Yeah, I like him on
I,
TNT.
I would say Billy Donovan would be a good hire, but that would piss me the fuck off.
Yeah,
Billy Donovan, Providence
that's exact.
alum,
That's
passes on the
ex-
Providence job. That would piss me off.
that's exactly why I would want it.
Now, his season with the Bulls isn't over. Now, I don't know if he's going to be fired as the Bulls head coach. No one knows. But the question of whether he's going to be open or not really depends. And that could be another one. Well, now, granted, he's in the Chicago Bulls. So you can't really pull the expectation um, excuse for not going to UNC there. Because you're the fucking bull. You're the Bulls. Like,
Yeah,
talk about expectations.
yeah.
But I think, honestly, y'all's best bet is you see, I don't know. When you and I talked about that there's no good time for a breakup, because there really isn't. But given this coaching carousel, and I know the Carolina name will put more names in the hat than are currently in the hat right now. But not that you could, but this Hubert Davis firing sure picked a bad offseason to happen.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the trendy names are already off the board. Not that I thought UNC was going to take the new Providence head coach Ryan Hodgson, because I didn't. But I think, unfortunately, because of the nature of this offseason, UNC is either going to have to splash major cash or get a little experimental. Like, they're either going to have to drop a freaking bag, or you're going to have to take a chance on like a lesser known guy.
Yeah.
And the problem is they can't pull up an assistant.
Yeah.
Because, I'm sorry, Marcus Page isn't ready. And neither is the other people, because there's like a bunch of people from that 2017 Carolina team on staff. Marcus Page isn't ready. The others aren't ready. So I think you guys' best bet is you're just gonna have to drop a bag on Todd Gold. Like that unfortunately is just what's gonna have to happen.
You're gonna have to drop a bag, but like you see, here's the one thing that I'm worried about. So it always felt like with Hubert Davis that he might be like a little bit of a gateway into the next era of Carolina. I don't know if they're like UNC is going to try to go for a guy that's going to be there for 20 years, I feel like.
Oh, Billy Donovan's 61 though, so that's off the table.
Yeah. Like I don't know what's the direction that UNC is trying to go right now. Are you trying to find the next guy that's going to be another good like another gateway for another 5 years? Are we trying to find the guy that's going to be there for 20 years? What are we trying to do right now? I don't understand the vision.
Yeah. Because
other than the vision being like, oh, we need to make Sweet 16s and Final Fours, yes, I'm all for that. What's the vision? What's the timeline we're expecting right now? Like, are we expecting someone that's going to be here forever? Are we expecting someone that's going to be here for a little while? What are we trying to get at right now? Which is why I was a little bit kind of like, I don't know if letting Hubert Davis go is the right move right now.
Like you saying, maybe keep him for another year. Give him.
I was always saying, give him one more year and wait till let's see if he makes it to the Sweet 16. But the after losing, like it seemed like he lost all momentum after losing the national championship. Let's be real. Like that kind of took the wins out of UNC sales for a little while. You were the number one preseason, number one, recreating pictures of like the 1980s teams with Michael Jordan. You didn't even make the tournament that year. And then first round exits for Kingdom Come.
Now, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So Kansas has pretty much done the same since that national championship game that they played Carolina.
Yeah.
Do you think it is the national championship that is keeping Bill Self around? The fact that they won that game rather than losing that one game.
Yeah, probably. And I know this is all biased because like I'm the UNC guy. I will say there's only one school that has higher expectations than UNC, and that's Duke. And Duke seems to be hitting their expectations right now. You could say UNC has the same expectations as Kansas, but I would argue, historically speaking, maybe the edge goes to UNC. But I wouldn't be in my opinion, the rank of like who has the most expectations. Number one is Duke. Number two is UNC. Then like Kansas and Kentucky. As in like the highest expectations throughout the entirety of the nation. Kentucky is weird because sometimes it feels like they have really high expectations. Sometimes it feels like they don't have any expectations at all.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like they let their coaches get away with a little too much sometimes.
But I don't know. Firing your legendary coach and having him go to Arkansas kind of leads me to believe you have high expectations.
Yeah, and replace it with hope.
Yeah. So, once again, very weird. UNC has one of the highest expectations throughout the entirety of college basketball. I feel like that's very fair to say. But I don't know what the expectations are going to be with this coach. As in, are we trying to find a Roy Williams? Are we trying to find a Dean Smith? Or are we trying to find a good fit for the next 5 years?
I think the problem that UNC might run into is they're going to try too hard to find a guy that's the next Roy Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Roy Williams is Roy Williams. You're not going to find another. You can find a guy with similar traits, similar qualities. The 20 years, get 20 years out of him. But the problem is, with the notoriety of the sport today, with social media, with advanced analytics, they're going to find people like Roy Williams before Roy Williams ends up at Kansas.
Yeah.
Before the Mike Krzyzewskis end up at Army. They're going to find him.
Yeah.
Now, Providence has swung and missed, but that's why you see people hiring people like Kim English or Ryan Hodgson after only 3 years, because they are showing similar trends to all these legendary coaches after 3 years. Like their trajectory at the time, that doesn't mean they're going to, but their trajectory is headed in that direction.
Indeed.
And with the amount of money in the sport, you can't wait for a guy, say UNC has like some hypothetical assistant who leaves to go take the Kansas job, goes to Kansas for 20 years. The amount of money, say Bill Self were 10 years younger, Aiden. Say he was 50. The amount of money not that UNC doesn't have that money, but the amount of money that UNC would have to pay to go get him from Kansas would be, not that they couldn't pay it, but it would be, the donors wouldn't allow it because of how prohibitively expensive it would be. Like, you think Todd Golden's buyout's crazy right now? Imagine Bill Self 10 years ago, but with this NIL climate. That buyout would be in the 30s. And I'm not saying the Carolina name's not going to help them out, but I'm saying this era of college basketball is not helping the coaching search. It's causing a lot of swing and misses.
Indeed.
But no, I mean, I probably figured I should at least mention the Providence hiring. Not sure how I feel. And I was telling Aiden, hold on. I was telling Aiden, I told Aiden I was gonna crash out if we hired him, and crash out I did.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the way he's talking and everything he said, but of course, a new, young, energetic head coach is going to nail the press conference. Of
Yeah.
course, he's going to nail the first social media post. He's a young hip coach. He knows what to say. He
Mm-hmm.
coaches 20-year-olds. He's going to know how to talk to the students when he gets on campus. He literally scheduled his first press conference so students could be there.
Yeah.
Like, of course, he was going to do that. He's a young coach. He wants him there. But yeah, he's talking about how people are worried about his recruiting. I'm actually not worried about that. I mean, yes, he has all-time legendary quote, if you're worried about my recruiting, just look at my wife. Yeah, whatever. Haha, funny, That's almost as cringy as Will Wade's John Valvano picture. Like, sorry, I'm just gonna say that. I'm just gonna go out there and say that. Oh, okay, pal. But it's not his recruiting. I actually do like his recruiting. He was able to, not that South Florida is a bad school, but he was able to get talent that wouldn't normally go to South Florida to go to USF. I like that. That's the type of recruiting you need at Providence. It can be kind of a dreary place at times. It can be a very dreary place at times. It can be an extraordinary, dreary, depressing place times 10.
Yeah.
Not Eaton Street, though. But, I was never on Eaton Street. Sorry. Never went to Eaton Street once, right, Aiden? Never went there. Never went there.
Never.
Yeah,
Never. Not a day in his life.
Not a day in my life did I attend a Darty on Eaton Street. Never.
Never.
But
my man of his word.
My worry about Hodgson is he's a Nate Oates disciple. Another name in the Carolina search, actually.
Yeah.
But I have my reasons why I don't think the Carolina donors would like him. And it's the same reasons why I'm worried about Ryan Hodgson. How he runs his offense.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a YouTube video the other week about why there's a lot of people that have like a misnomer about teams that shoot a lot of threes. Because there's multiple ways. You can scheme them open. It could just be that, how a team plays you. They're going to, you have really good forwards. They're going to key on the forwards, and that's going to leave shooters open. That's not the case with Alabama and this Nate Oates coaching tree. They are a spray and pray offense. It is pace, 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 and shoot, 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 shoot threes.
Shoot.
I am not a fan of the Nate Oates style of offense. Let me just put that out there. What?
Dear basketball.
Dear basketball. I hate the Nate Oates offense. I watched USF. I mean, it worked. I watched some of their American Conference tournament games. It works when the shots are falling.
It works when you have a guy not giving you, when somebody's not giving you an elbow to the face.
Yeah. What I will say, it's gonna be entertaining when the shots are falling. Mm-hmm. But when the shots aren't falling, just ask BYU what happens, because they run the same style of offense. Just ask what happens. Mm. So this is going to be an up and down year for Providence in my mind. I think it was the best possible hire they could have made, possibly. I don't know. A lot of the names I now want NC State to go after would have been great names for the Providence job. Josh Schertz out of St. Louis, but he just recently signed a new contract. And Justin Gainey. Rick Barnes' disciple. That would have been a home run hire for either. But, had to go with the guy that's like, ho, 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 look at me with my wife who's 25 and I'm 40. I started dating her when I was an assistant coach and she was in a sorority.
Give him a UNC contract.
Dating a girl named Jordan, too, who also did cheer like Jordan.
I've seen enough. Give this man the fullest UNC contract and poach him.
Aiden's like, you thought you were pissed about Will Wade, boy. You're about to be pissed about a coach that wasn't even there. 1 year, how about a week? But no, as much as I joke, I'm excited. He's going to play an exciting brand of basketball, and he's going to kind of reinvigorate this fan base a little bit. Now, with a closing statement there for this coach roundtable talk,
Yes.
I think what Will Wade is doing to NC State is going to reinvigorate the fan base. Because Aiden, some of the most legendary crowds I saw at Providence wasn't when we were ranked number 9 in the nation under Ed Cooley. It was when Ed Cooley came back to Providence. It was when he came back on that fateful day. I have never seen I'm sorry, this is going to sound biased. That crowd rivaled Cameron. That crowd rivaled a Duke Carolina game. Do you guys throw broken beer bottles at the opposing coach? Didn't think so.
Don't think that's a flex, Gareth.
I'm just saying it's a rowdy crowd. I mean, Maryland fans did that back in the day. Some of our viewers, aka my cousins, don't remember when they were in the ACC. They used to be.
Yeah.
Terrible people. Terrible people.
I think I remember that. Like, wasn't that back in like 5th grade or something like that? Like,
Yeah.
Like, wasn't it Maryland or Miami? Like at the ACC tournament, like they were throwing stuff on them.
So think about how Texas acts when a penalty doesn't go their way in football, and apply that to basketball fans. That's Maryland fans. That's Maryland fans in basketball.
Maryland before Big Ten.
Maryland before Big Ten. They were almost on like, in terms of the team, on my like biting list, and being a Tyler Childers fan, I love the song Biting List. But here's my biting list of teams. Obviously, you've got Duke and Carolina up here. But pre-Big Ten, Maryland was up there too. Maryland was like a close second. Carolina, Duke for first. Maryland was like a close second with like Wake and the Wake and ECU. It was like some days more. Maryland pissed me off, man. I hated that school. I fucking hated that team. Football, they were never really that relevant. But like,
oh no, we got the legendary soundbite from the NC State Maryland game. He was giving him the business.
That is true. I forgot about that. What are you doing? Sorry, I'm watching.
He was giving him the business.
But no. Yeah, I'm excited. Time to see if my personal 9/11 gets worse and drawn out for a week or not. We will see. Shall we jump into the NCAA tournament now?
Yeah, let's just jump into it. We're heading up to the Sweet 16 right now. First off, recap of everything that's gone down. Too much to cover, but basically, I might be fraudulent. I might have negative ball knowledge, but
I'm kind of cooking.
We keep it pushing. Big standout losses on my end. I did say Kentucky versus Santa Clara. It's Santa Clara. Lock it in.
That was bullshit. That game was bullshit.
Yeah.
He called a timeout 1,000%. All right, so let's flash back a little. Santa Clara hits a 3 to go up with 2.7 seconds left. Herb Sendek's running up and down the side of the court asking for a timeout. Mm-hmm. Out of the 5 referees, how many are looking at the coaches saying if any are looking to call a timeout? None of them. How do you do that? But no. Still salty about that one. Adding Kentucky to the teams of biting list, including LSU. LSU's on that list now. LSU's on my teams of I don't like you.
VCU beat UNC. We know about that. UNC blew a 19-point lead. So that was crazy.
That's why Hugh BD doesn't have a job.
Yeah, that's why.
I don't think it's the fact that they lost that game. I think it's the 19-point lead.
I mean, I got the St. Louis, Georgia pick right. I'm proud about that.
Holy ass whooping. I was not feeling well. I passed out because I saw St. Louis up 10, and I woke up and I saw 100, and I'm like, I'm hallucinating. There's no way they dropped 100 on Georgia. And then when I woke up in the morning, I'm like, holy shit, they dropped 100 on Georgia.
Yeah.
Another hypothetical win for the SEC. So Duke almost got fraud checked.
Yeah, that was crazy. But they ride the ship with TCU, so we're forgetting about that now. I almost got the Cal Baptist Kansas pick. I think in the end I did pick Kansas, so technically I won, but I was keeping my eye on Cal Baptist.
I forgot to switch it on my official bracket, but on the pod, I made the prediction of Utah State over Villanova. Got that one right.
Yeah.
Talk about you thought NC State's midseason slide was bad. Go take a look at the Villanova Wildcats. Holy ass. High Point, Wisconsin. I got that one right. Or I
Why
got
the
that one
hell was
wrong.
why the hell for like a couple days if we were filming a podcast like in between like the round one and round two, I think we could have legitimately made the sound point, the sound bit that High Point was the best basketball team in North Carolina, and it would not even be rage bait. Because even they were giving Arkansas the business. So, like, for a moment in time, it did look like High Point was the best basketball school in North Carolina.
It did.
For like a total of like, let's say, like 38 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Um.
yeah, any other
Um.
things that we want to bring up? Um,
Nebraska and Iowa are in the Sweet 16. Holy cow.
Nebraska versus Vanderbilt. Let's talk about that game. That game was a classic.
I love that game. Now, were those balls overinflated? Yes. But does it matter?
Who
No.
cares? Who
Who cares?
cares? Who
Who
cares?
cares?
Man, that like I heard that like Vanderbilt almost made like a buzzer beater and it would have been the greatest buzzer beater of all time. I go back and watch the game in its entirety and man, I watched like that ending 2 minutes like religiously. And like at the end of every single like those 2 minutes, I swear almost every time I could have sworn that that basketball would have gone in. Like it was like watching episode 3 of Star Wars, where you think maybe this is the time that Anakin doesn't turn to the dark side. Like you
Yeah.
think if you watch it again, it will go in. Like that's how crazy it was.
But hats off to them. And I didn't have Nebraska getting this far. And I gotta give it to them. This is like congrats. You went from no March Madness wins to you're one of the final 16 teams. Now, in terms of games, like another really good game, St. John's, Kansas. Oh my God, that ending was
Mm,
absurd. You
yeah.
go, Rick Pitino in the huddle goes to his team and goes, "Who wants it?" Dylan Darling goes, "Draw me up a play, coach. Draw up the play for me."
Hmm.
This dude was Ofer from the floor that day. 0 points.
I like that. I like that.
I like the confidence. Patino forgot. He didn't know. And Patino goes, "We broke the huddle." And then he goes, my assistant looks at me and goes, "What are you doing? He hasn't hit anything today."
He's gonna hit it
And then
now.
and then Patino was like, and he goes, internally I start panicking. Shit, dude hasn't hit anything today. And then he goes, I see him drive with his weak hand, and I'm like, oh my Jesus Christ. And then he puts it in. This St. John, if there is a team that can beat Duke before the Final Four, it is this St. John's team.
Hmm.
UConn, maybe. UConn, maybe. I had them losing to
Hell no.
UCLA.
Hell no.
I'll admit, I was wrong. I thought UCLA would have it. UConn. UCLA pulled up, or UConn pulled away a little bit towards the end there, but that was a good game. That was fun to watch.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry.
I'm still not sold on UConn. I'm sorry.
The only team in the East that I think can beat Duke right now is the Johnnies.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think my hot take right now,
This
like
is
if
the
I had to
national
make a hot take,
championship. Yeah.
I still want Arizona to win. I still think Arizona's my national champion.
Yeah.
But if St. John's beats Duke, they might be winning. They might be winning.
I think
They
whoever wins this matchup is going to win the tournament.
I agree.
No, you don't. You
That
think
game's.
Arizona's going to win?
I think Arizona's going to win, but I think whoever wins in. I'll preface this. I think Arizona's going to win, but if St. John's win this, I don't see a team that can beat them.
Yeah.
UConn, they put belt to ass 3 times this season. I don't see that changing.
Yeah.
I don't see that changing.
Yeah.
Like, you always hear the saying, it's hard to lose to a team 3 times in a season. But I'm sorry, if you get belt to ass by 20 points 3 times in a season, I don't think the fourth time's gonna change.
Mm-hmm.
Like Illinois, Houston. This is a game that interests me because we've got unstoppable force, statistically the most efficient offense in the stat tracking era, with how they take shots and their effective field goal percentage and how they script open shots. One of the most efficient offenses since we've kept keeping advanced stats in Illinois, and probably the best defense in college basketball.
Yeah.
I know statistically, according to Ken Palm, the best defense is Duke, and Houston's technically number 2. But in my mind, from what I've seen, Houston's a better defense than
Yeah.
Duke.
Yeah.
Unstoppable force versus immovable object.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're doing predictions yet, but that for me, that is a game to watch.
Let's
It-
you know what? Let's jump into the predictions now.
let's just say if you need to find a place to watch that game,
Yeah.
that is going to be it's 10:05 on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have morning practice, so I'm gonna be watching games till all hours of the night.
Yeah.
I ain't got shit going on.
Duke, St. John's. Yeah. 7:10 CBS. Watch it.
I may go St. John's there. Honestly, from what I've seen from the Johnnies, when I made my bracket, I thought it was Arizona. And I still think Arizona has the caliber to win it because they've just kind of rolled everyone, honestly. Now, I know I talked a bunch of shit about Nate Oates and his offensive style, but what did I say? When it's on, when the threes are falling, it is the best offense to run.
Yeah.
As we saw against Texas Tech.
Yeah.
But what do you think about this Michigan game? I think Michigan is just going to bully them physically, like bully them on the glass.
Yeah, I got Michigan on this one 100% over Alabama. I just don't think Alabama has the physicality or any of the like intangibles to stop Duke right now. I mean, when Alabama's hot, they're hot, scoring both 90 against Hofstra and Texas Tech. But I think this Michigan defense and just the shooting style of Michigan, I liked how they performed against Duke, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that against Alabama. So I'm taking Michigan on that one.
Yeah. Purdue, Texas. No one thought Texas was going to make it this far, but statistically, a team from the first 4 has made the Sweet 16 every single year since the first 4 was introduced.
Ooh.
I'm tempted to go Purdue here, honestly.
I'm tempted to go Texas a little bit. I like this Texas team a lot, but I don't know if they're going to keep their momentum. This Purdue team, I think, is very beatable.
As always.
Yes. But I don't think they're going to be beaten tonight. So give me Purdue.
What about Arizona, Arkansas?
Ooh.
I've liked the way Arkansas has looked outside of the High Point game. I've liked the way Arkansas has looked as of late. SEC champion, really kind of took care of business in the SEC tournament.
Yeah.
Round 1, handled Hawaii. That was a trendy upset pick. They handled that kind of gimmicky defense very well. So I think I'm going to go Arkansas. No, I'm going Arizona. I'm sticking.
A lot of people are going to say that Arkansas's run to the Sweet 16 is going to be a little bit more cushy than usual, but
yeah,
they're here because they're here, and I like
beat
this
who's in
Arkansas.
front of you.
Yeah, and let's be real, the Arizona run to the Sweet 16 was nothing too challenging. R.I.P. to Fins Up. But give me Arizona on this one. And I didn't give my pick on the Duke St. John's game yet, but I'm going to have to go with Duke. I'm disagreeing with you on this one, Gareth. I like this Duke team a lot. They're still my favorite to win the national championship. Michigan State versus UConn. Give me Michigan State. I'm sorry. Not sold on UConn.
I'm not sold on either of these teams. Two great coaches having a mid-year, mid-off. We love a good mid-off. As ACC football fans, we love a good mid-off.
Man, Maction is a thing for a reason.
But when it comes to March Madness, if you take a look at teams, usually the team with the more blowouts, when you got two relatively evenly matched teams, the team with the more blowouts ends up being the team that loses. I don't know if that's going to be the case here. Just looking at it, UConn, in my mind, they're a little bit more efficient, but what's been worrying me is their shooting lately. Their shooting in the tournament has not been great, and their defense has kind of been not there. It's been their rebounding that's kept them in games. They are going to have to play well, but I have to just disagree with you, though. I'm going to have to go with UConn. I think the shots are going to finally start falling for them. Like, I think they're going to finally figure it out on offense. So give me UConn. At some point, the shots have to start falling, or as colloquial knowledge says.
Nebraska versus Iowa. I've liked this Iowa team a lot. Very impressive win against Florida. And this Nebraska team is definitely nothing to sneeze at. I don't know. It just seems like the battle of two hot teams right now. And my heart is telling me Iowa right now, but my mind is telling me Nebraska. I guess I'm going to have to go with Nebraska on this one. I've really liked their performance against Vandy, and it's just they're playing like a team with nothing, like that a team of destiny right now.
They're playing with house money.
They're playing with house money, and so is Iowa. So this is going to be one of those must-watch games, but give me Nebraska.
I'm going to go with Iowa here. They split the regular season series.
Mm-hmm.
They went to overtime in the second iteration. I just like the way Iowa plays. And I know the trend right now is everyone, all these college basketball influencers, they love the fast teams. They love the teams that play fast. Fuck it. Give me a team that controls the narrative. You control the pace of the game. You pretty much are playing it on your terms, no matter who has momentum. If you control the narrative and the pace, Ben McCollum and Ryan Odom were the two coaches I wanted for NC State, and they are teams where they don't play the fastest. Like Ryan Odom is more of an average speed, but I wanted Ben McCollum. He is very strategic. He controls the narrative. They don't turn the ball over. And honestly, I know you hear, oh, March Madness is about guard play. March Madness is about guard play. And it is. But the crazy thing about March Madness is, obviously they don't call it March Madness for no reason.
Yeah.
But when you control the tempo and the narrative of the game, what does there tend to not be? Madness, turnovers, momentum swings. Mm-hmm. You've got a coach like Ben McCollum who is very, very experienced. I'm not saying the Nebraska coach isn't either. Like, he's done a great job with this program, and he's brought Nebraska basketball to quite literally, this is not an exaggeration, new heights it has never been to. Like, I'm not saying it's peaking, because I think they can still go up, but they are at brand new heights this program has never even sniffed before. But I'm gonna have to go with Iowa. I just like the way they control things. They take care of the basketball. They take very high quality shots. They're in Illinois if Illinois thought before they shot the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So give me and Illinois does take very high quality shots, but I'm just saying Iowa is Illinois if they thought before they acted. There we go. That's what Iowa is. So I'm taking Iowa in this Nebraska matchup.
Yeah. Houston versus Illinois. I got Houston in this one. I think Houston's defense is just going to be a really tough match for Illinois, and if shots aren't falling for them, it's going to be a really dangerous situation. This Houston team is really, really tough to play, and they're just one of those like you said, they can control the game on their pace. So give me Houston in this matchup.
I'm in my bracket. I took Illinois, but I'm gonna take Houston as well. I just with how they've played in this tournament, and they've kind of fixed their offensive woes. They still play that slow tempo, but they're so much more efficient on the offensive end, and they play like a well-oiled machine. They play like a slower UConn
Yeah,
that actually hits shots though,
yeah.
and plays defense. So give me Houston as well.
And last matchup that I don't think we've covered, Tennessee versus Iowa State. Give me Iowa State.
Yeah, I'm taking Iowa State. It doesn't matter who was going to get there. It was Virginia or Iowa State. I'm taking Iowa State. So
Yeah, yeah.
they are too good. Is there anything else college basketball wise you want to talk about?
I mean, we can do a brief summary of what we think the Elite Eight is going to look like. I would have Duke versus Michigan State. Give me Duke. And Nebraska versus Houston. Give me Nebraska to go to the Final Four. Arizona versus Purdue. Give me Arizona. Michigan versus Iowa State. Give me Michigan. My Final Four would be is now Duke, Nebraska, Arizona, and Michigan.
My Elite Eight is St. John's and UConn. Out of that, I'm going to take St. John's. I'm sorry. That's just ass whooping again. Then I've got Iowa and Houston. Give me Houston to go to the Final Four. From there, I've got Arizona versus Purdue. Give me Arizona to go to the Final Four. And then I've got Michigan versus Iowa State. Give me hot take. Give me Iowa State. I just think I love this Michigan team, but this Iowa State team is also very good, who is also just shocked teams on the road. I just think that Big 12 is just so deep. So Iowa State. So we've got in my Final Four, we've got St. John's, Houston, Arizona, Iowa State. I've got Houston beating St. John's. And I've got Arizona playing Houston in the final. And I'm going to take Arizona winning it. But depending on how this, I know I said I'd take St. John's if they beat Duke. But I need to see that game first. I need to see that game first before I make that proclamation. I think they can beat Duke, but it depends on the manner. If they beat Duke in a shaky manner, not a close game. If it's a close game, that's still fine. But if it's a shaky game where Duke's just playing like, I know how Duke handled TCU, but if you kind of watch the first 2/3 of the past two Duke games, you're getting what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If Duke plays like that and St. John's capitalizes, then I'd be. But if it's one where it's like Duke's on the entire time and St. John's is able to roll with the punches, then I'm like, okay, that's when I'm like, this team is a legit contender. Is that all you want to cover college basketball wise?
Yeah.
Well, it is seeing as it's after midnight, and I'm wondering if you want to do this.
Yeah.
Happy opening day to those of you
I am so
who celebrate.
glad that you have brought this up, Gareth. New York Yankees versus San Francisco Giants just went down earlier. We had the Yankees win 7-0. Baseball season is in full swing now.
It is. College baseball's back. The ACC is looking strong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking and currently today, we got everyone playing except for, I think, Yankees and Giants. Our teams, we got the Red Sox taking on the Cincinnati Reds, and the Cubs are taking on the Nationals. Red Sox play at 4:10. Cubs play the Nationals at 2:20.
Yeah, I'm liking the Cubs this year. There are a lot of people are saying that they're going to be winning the NL Central. I like them a lot. It's pretty much just going to be between them and Milwaukee for the NL Central. Um, but it's just looking like the Cubs are in a prime position. They have a high payroll, and are looking really deep right now. Uh, uh, I'm liking their pitching core, and it's looking good for the Cubs right now. I mean, uh, it's just we seem to say this at the beginning of every season. It's looking very optimistic for our teams. Boston's looking like they could definitely make a wild card. Uh, y'all's division is very
Stacked.
stacked, though. Like with uh, what? Like y'all have Toronto, New York, and who's looking like they're gonna win the y'all's division? Would it be the AL? Hang on.
AL.
Yeah,
I think it's a three-horse race between the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, and Yankees right now.
yeah.
Like the Orioles, I think that it's just kind of accepted that they're kind of dead in the water right now.
God love them. Amazing ballpark from what I've heard.
Oh, Camden Yards is beautiful. Never been there, but I've seen pictures. Camden Yards is absolutely beautiful. Tampa Bay, yeah, it's bad if we're having talks about that team coming to North Carolina as the North Carolina team instead of an expansion team. You're in a tough spot. You may be in a tougher spot than the Orioles.
Hmm.
I like what the Red Sox have done this offseason. I will say a lot of Red Sox fans, I feel like, and it could just be that I'm new to the fan base, so I haven't bought into the hysteria. But the Red Sox really haven't brought in a whole lot this offseason, but they have offloaded a lot of cap space. And I like that. They're almost doing the kind of Carolina Hurricanes thing where maybe they're just waiting to see who's hot that season. And then they make their money moves.
Hmm.
Once they see how the season's going, they see who's hot, they see who's breaking out. And then it's because they have all this cap space, they don't have to worry, hey, I want to bring in this big guy, but, you know, don't have the cap space for him. Now, Red Sox rotation this year, I'm not, I mean, it's not the best, but I mean, they do have Cy Young candidate Garrett Crochet. Aiden was a big fan of him when he came up and watched that boy strike out 19 people against the fucking, who did they even play? I forget who it was, but I
They
like
played Tampa Bay.
they played Tampa Bay. We watched Garrett Crochet absolutely fucking deal.
I'm a
Um,
big fan of this Garrett Crochet dude.
dude, I watching him at Tennessee was he was if you didn't get the chance to watch him at Tennessee during that college World Series run, oh my god. Um,
Hmm.
but the main thing with the Red Sox right now is their kind of rotation for the pitching. Obviously, Crochet. We're not worried about that. But Red Sox day one, obviously Garrett Crochet. Then they got Ranger Suarez, Sonny Gray, Brian Bayo, and Connor Early. Connor Early is that high schooler they pulled up last year, and we had a high schooler on high schooler matchup for the Yankees Red Sox rubber match, which that was something to behold. Watching two like teenagers just absolutely just slug it out. Then bullpen obviously Aroldis Chapman, Mister 40 years old, still throws 105. Garrett Whitlock, Greg Weissert. Um, yeah, this bullpen's a little rough. Hopefully, we can get Patrick Sandoval and Cutter Crawford back off the IL. They're on there for at least the next 2 weeks. But I'm very excited to see how the season goes. We cut all the toxicity out. Hopefully, Tristan Casas and Romy Gonzalez will be back from injury. Two of the Red Sox first basemen are down. But what I did like is the Red Sox in the offseason brought in Wilson Contreras. That's a guy. I enjoy using him on MLB The Show a lot. Good first baseman. Nice power. Um, came over from the Chicago Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals by way of a trade in the offseason. Outside of that, haven't really brought in many other trades. I mean, obviously they lost Alex Bregman. I'm still a little bit upset about that one, but I think this team can make a run. Lots of depth, lots of people who can play lots of different positions. So yeah, I'm excited. I know their spring training didn't go as necessarily as planned, but they had a lot of players in the World Baseball Classic, and lots of players who went very far in the World Baseball Classic. Jaron Duran with Mexico, Willier Abreu winning it with Venezuela, Roman Anthony on the U.S., all sorts of team people like that. So Garrett Crochet with Team USA, like that type of stuff. But I'm excited. Do I think the Red Sox will win the AL East? You never know. Aiden came up here during the Red Sox like tear last year, and the Red Sox went from being last in the AL East to first in like the span of a month. So for a while there, I'm like, holy shit, we may win the
The 2
division.
weeks while I was there, it was
The 2 weeks
magical.
while I was there, they kept winning, and even the 2 weeks before and the 2 weeks after, there was like 6 weeks there where those motherfuckers didn't miss. That
Boston was a
motherfucker don't
magical
miss.
place. Wearing all the Boston gear that you lended me, man. You bought me into the whole Boston Red Sox hype. I mean, I was like, this is fun when you're wearing the team colors of what everyone likes. I mean, like, I wouldn't want to be wearing anything Tampa Bay right now, but
Or Yankees.
or Yankees. But just coming up and seeing random people just go off on, yo, did we win today? I'm like, hell yeah, man.
Some drunk dude came up to Aiden in fucking in the park. Yo, did we win today? Yeah.
Yeah, 19 strikeouts. Oh, that's right. But I definitely want to go to a Red Sox game before I head out for work. And a little hint, I guess, maybe, because I'm not saying it on the pod until it's all set in stone. But if I get sent to work where I think I'm going to be sent to work, we might be getting some San Diego Padres coverage on the podcast.
Definitely.
So if you know, you know. If you don't know, you will
You
find out
will.
later. Aiden's going to be on a little bit of a hiatus for a little while.
Aiden may go missing. We may have a rotation of guests filling in.
It would be really funny if you just get your cousin Aiden to do it, and we just don't admit it on the podcast that that's a different Aiden,
We
and
just keep playing it on.
we just keep playing it on. I like what you did with your hair. Oh yeah, thanks, man.
Dude, since Aiden, since when are you blonde with curls? Like when did that happen?
He comes back. Your hair's a lot shorter now. It's black. It's brown again. Yeah. Decided to change it up.
That Division 1 athlete hazing works.
But I'm really excited for this MLB season. Given a brief overview of how I think the league is going to look for the AL East, I might just say screw it and give it to Boston. But Toronto is still looking very powerful after their World Series appearance last year. I'm really excited to see what they are coming up with. So this is just a stacked division. Um, Very good argument to be made. Whoever wins this division is going to be going to the World Series.
That's generally how it goes.
Yeah. But in the AL West, the Seattle Mariners are looking really good. And if they can kind of fix their October woes, I think they're another team to really look out for. Um, in the Central, I've become really fond of the Detroit Tigers, or the Motor City Kitties, as Gareth has, uh, I guess, taught me. But they're looking really good. In 2025, they were 11th in runs and 14th in on base percentage. Just a consistently very solid team. And if they can continue this solid style of play and keep the injuries low, I like Detroit a lot for the AL Central. Going to the National League, um, The NL East is just pretty much a race between New York and Philadelphia, in my opinion. Atlanta, a lot of people are saying they could make some noise, but I need to see it to believe it. Atlanta's very off and on, in my opinion. And I like this Philadelphia team, but I think age is kind of starting to getting to be a factor with them, and they haven't produced anything. So I'm just not necessarily as high on them right now. But going to the Central, it's a race between Chicago and Milwaukee. A lot of people are pointing towards Chicago. I'm going to need to see how they start performing later in the season because Milwaukee is prone to just hitting strides in the dog days. Like they'll be third in the Central. Like somehow they're like below Cincinnati or St. Louis, but then they'll just go on an absolute tear in July or August, and they're in the playoff picture, pushing up against Chicago. So I'm not counting Milwaukee out of anything. And for the West, LA.
I see you didn't make the joke, so I will. In the AL East. In the AL East, I'm going to go with the Boston Red Sox. I have to. AL Central, it's between them for me. Obviously, I think I'm leaning more towards the Motor City Kitties that are the Detroit Tigers. But I don't be surprised if the Twins or the Guardians aren't there challenging for it a little bit because that was a tight race last year. AOS, I'm going to go with Seattle Mariners as well. I like Brian Wu, their pitcher. His TikTok's funny. Good pitcher. Got some nice stuff. Got some pretty nasty breaking balls. But he has some very funny TikToks as well. He plays a lot of MLB The Show and uses himself, and his crash outs over video games are hysterical. I mean, he is a young guy, a little bit older than us, but still very, very funny to watch. NL East, similar take to Aiden. It's between the Phillies and the Mets. I'm going to go with the Mets. But something about New York Orange teams and their woes, particularly in the playoffs, kind of hard to get past. But, hey, we're just doing with regular season predictions, so give me the Mets. NL Central, I'm going to go with the Cubs here. I just think the Cubs have been consistently building momentum. They picked up Alex Bregman from the Red Sox. All they did was they had a stacked roster and they added to it. So give me the Cubs. Like they are. I like the Brewers, and I know the Brewers went far, but I like what the Cubs are doing, and they are doing things right. So watch out for the Cubs this season. They honestly might make it to the. This might be a team where they are going to make the World Series. If not, they're going to make the NLCS. Sorry, NLCS, not ALCS.
Yeah.
NL West, give me the Tel Aviv Dodgers. Oh, is that a drone strike?
We didn't even get into our conspiracy theory about Will Wade, but that's an episode for another podcast.
Will Wade's a Mossad agent. But no, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the Padres give the Dodgers a little bit of a fight, but I'm going with the Benjamin Netanyahu sponsored Tel Aviv Dodgers. So I have a friend I have an NC State friend who's a Dodgers fan. He does not like when I call him the Tel Aviv Dodgers. Like in my little NC State content creator group chat where there's like 34 of us who run all the NC State accounts, the burners. My Tel Aviv Dodgers comment always gets 34 likes and one fuck you. And one you wish you were us. No, not really. I'm just saying, dodging's not very American of you. What, dodging drone strikes? Yeah, exactly. With that being said, you got anything else to add?
No, we can do a quick little summary on what's going on in the world of college baseball right now.
Yeah, let's do it. I found a new college baseball app. It's kind of buggy, but hey,
Yeah.
At least they're trying to make an app, unlike certain stuff.
Right now, UNC is at number 13 in the rankings. NC State's at 14. shaping up to be a very good summer for us.
Yes,
Um, uh, a College World Series appearance for both teams is always a good way to start off your summer, in my opinion.
it is.
But both are looking really good. Georgia Tech at number three, once again. I mean, 19-5. You can't really argue with that too much, but I don't know. I need to watch more of this Georgia Tech team because maybe there's something that I'm missing.
They did beat the fuck out of Clemson at
They did.
Clemson.
Yeah, more on that later. But
They play NC State this weekend, so hey, litmus check.
UNC is going to be playing, hang on, Notre Dame this weekend at Notre Dame. So should be some good wins for UNC because Notre Dame right now is sitting at 15-6. There was a couple years where they were looking really good in baseball, but they've kind of fallen off. Right now, UNC is kind of hitting an easy part of their schedule, dare I say. But things are going to
Yeah,
be getting a little bit harder come April 10th, going at Clemson and then Georgia Tech, at Duke, then Pittsburgh, and then to end off the season at NC State.
I wouldn't count out Notre Dame. Their last three series, Aiden,
Hmm.
they beat Duke at Duke. They did lose to Louisville, but they were all very close games. They swept Clemson.
Is
I think
Clemson
UNC
bad?
is definitely
Is Clemson bad this year?
as of now, yes. They've been swept two
Clemson,
weekends in a row.
Clemson's not looking too hot right now.
Yeah.
Not starting off conference play very well. I don't think they've won. They haven't won a series in conference play yet. They've just been swept. Now they're going. Now they got Miami at home, but this Miami team's nothing to really slouch at. I mean, they did kind of go 1-2 against Boston College.
That's not a good look.
That's not 1-2 against Duke. Swept Creighton. Congratulations. You swept Creighton. Here's your gold star. But looking very interesting right now. We definitely need to be. Right now, it's a little bit harder for me to pay attention to college baseball uh, as compared to other seasons. But right now, I'm trying to find some ways to get the games and do the research.
I'll send you my app that I use because you can listen to the games. Like
Ooh.
I know that's not the same as watching, but that's still you can still get some. You
Oh
can still
no.
glean a lot from that.
Oh yes, absolutely.
But what I will say about this college baseball season so far is the one team that's disappointed me so far is Miami. For how many players they poached from NC State, it sure seems that NC State's come out that side the better
Yes.
of the two. Like you poached our best catcher, and I get Alex Sosa wanted to go home. He's from Miami. He grew up a Hurricanes fan in Miami. Ended up at NC State. Miami comes knocking. That would be hard. Like if me, a swimmer, went to Providence but grew up an NC State fan for whatever reason, I got like ungodly fast out of nowhere, and NC State came knocking, I probably would have transferred. So I can't blame him there.
Yeah.
That's my team.
That's my team.
As Aiden said, with me pursuing my master's in sports administration, Gareth getting paid millions of dollars by Providence, NC State, here's 50 canes and popsicle sticks that say Wolfpack. That's my team.
That's my team.
But this college baseball season is shaping up to be an interesting one. The power dynamic in the ACC when it comes to the top teams outside of the Carolina schools has kind of been shaken up a little bit. But Florida State's back. NC State just lost a series against them, but that was a tough, gritty series. But no, I'm excited. NC State's definitely in a rougher stretch of their schedule right now. It's Florida State, Georgia Tech. Notre Dame's not bad, but we're playing 2 back-to-back top 10 teams, so this could be a little. No, it's not gonna be bad, but this is going to be a hard-fought part area of our schedule.
Yeah.
But anything else you want to add?
Um,
There's no
want to
MMA,
give.
is there?
There's no MMA of note right now for the podcast. I do want to give a shout out to the Charlotte Hornets and the Carolina Hurricanes right now. In the NBA, the Charlotte Hornets are pushing it along. Looks like all but in like actual writing have they secured a play-in spot right now. I mean, they're at
Yeah.
number 9 right now, looking really good. I think what I think what the real goal for Charlotte should be right now would be trying to like push for the 7th spot or the 7th seed spot in the play-in because I think that's very feasible right now, especially with how they've been playing as late in late or at least maybe like the 8th seed because getting in like the 9-10 range, that's still like it's still a really hard spot. Basically, the way the play-in works, 7th and 8th plays, 9 and 10 plays. The winner of the 7th and 8th goes on to play the 2nd seed in the NBA playoff, and then the loser of the 7th and 8th plays the winner of the 9th and 10th. Loser of the 9th and 10th gets eliminated. Let's say hypothetically 8 and 9 play, the winner of that plays the seed number 1, which it looks to be Detroit right now. So seeing if Charlotte could get up like 1 or 2 more spots, I think that would be really good for the Hornets, and they've would potentially, and I don't want to put the cart before the horse or like jinx anything, but that would, in theory, get the Hornets to play a series against Boston, which we would both like. Admits
We would get up here and be the most fucking obnoxious people there are.
the 2 most obnoxious Hornets fans.
The Bruins suck. Now, if there's a Hurricanes Bruins one, that's a different story.
That is a different story.
Not really a different story. That's still similar behavior from Gareth and Hayden.
Yes. Actually, pretty much actually exactly the same story. If we're not lying, like pretty much exactly the same, very much the same story. But the probability of a Hurricanes series against the Bruins turning out better than a Charlotte series against the Celtics. I don't know. You don't know. You never know. There's a lot of hypotheticals. Right now, Charlotte is number 1 in the Metropolitan right now, looking like they're pretty much just kind of cruising till April. Right now, like, let's be real. The Hurricanes are just the Bills of hockey right now. Always in the playoff. Almost there, but just haven't made that final push to the championship. I think this year could be the year, but a lot of things need to happen and line up for the Hurricanes for them to get it right.
Yeah. I think it's trending in the right direction. And they've looked good. They've been better on the road.
I mean, the Panthers are going to be out of the way.
Yeah. Holy ass, Batman.
Holy, what the hell, Batman? But going over to the Western Conference for the NHL, Colorado and Dallas have secured their playoff spots. It's looking like Minnesota and Utah might be going in as well. Anaheim is leading the Pacific Division right now, followed by Edmonton and the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
Thank
So
God.
far,
All I gotta say is thank God Florida's out of the way.
The only teams that have been officially eliminated are the New York Rangers and the Vancouver Canucks. Everybody else is on, either looks like they could be making a push or are on death's door right now.
And we already have teams have already qualified for the playoffs. The Avalanche and the Stars.
Yep.
I mean, technically, on a technicality, the Hurricanes could miss the playoffs.
Yes.
Technically, but bad things would have to happen.
There would be a lot of unfortunate events that need to happen now in April.
Yes.
But that pretty much just sums up everything that I have to say right now. Coming up in the next couple weeks is the Masters, so we will be doing coverage leading up to that. Looking forward to that, as always.
I am.
Yeah. And I guess in future podcasts, we're going to be mainly focusing now. We're going to be starting to gear our focus towards the NHL and NBA playoffs. Eventually, after college basketball wraps up, it's starting to wane out a little bit. And then also focusing on baseball.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I'm excited.
But I believe that's everything that I have to say. Gareth, do you want to send us out with anything?
No. Obviously, we'll keep an eye on the Will Wade situation, the Carolina situation, and just college coaching in general, because this is one hell of a cycle. We'll keep you guys up to date. We'll have an episode again next week. Have kind of a hiatus from work next week, so we shall be free to record any night. So, yeah, but I think that'll do it for us here this week, and we will see you guys next week. Thank you for watching.